So I'm on the phone, right, with Robbie, and we're talking about how great, he loaned me a trailer, cruising down the interstate. Everything's great. I told him, man, this thing's working like a dream. Lugging the lumber for the board and batten siding, as you can see back there. But if you'll also notice right over here, that's my tire, blown out on the side of the interstate. Fortunately, I got Karen on the way, hopefully with a new tire. She was not far behind me, so hopefully we're gonna get this thing fixed. Whew, and we're gonna get on with the weekend. Rough start to the weekend. Rough start. So it would be one thing if the story ended with the one flat tire. The problem is, here we are again, the other side popped. So now we're waiting on Greg and Laura, Karen's brother, and to come out. He's gonna bring his trailer. And we're gonna, I think we may have loaded it down too heavy. We're gonna offload all the wood, and then I will come back up tomorrow with a new tire and put the new one on. Just another little, a little hurdle, just a little hurdle. We'll get over it. We'll get over it. Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Brian and Karen's running around here somewhere from the Little Orchard Farm. I want to welcome you to today's video. As you could see, we started out really, really rough. It was a unforgettable evening yesterday. Let's just put it that way. I've never been stuck on the side of the interstate for more than 6 hours, so that was a first. And I hope it was my last. Today we got a lot of good stuff going on here at the cabin. We got some very important stuff. We're gonna be tackling this bad boy. I've got a childhood friend, a neighbor, an old neighbor who's coming down, and he is going to attack the box, and he's going to make sure that all of these boxes are. The light switches and the receptacles are all ready to go. These are not. These are all just kind of out there, just kind of hanging, and they really need to look like this, where they're all tied together. They're rolled up and they're shoved way back in there. So when we do the sheet rocking, none of the wiring will get damaged. And so he's going to be coming in today to do that. We've got some other things we need to try to knock out. The pocket hole door being number one. We've got I've got to cut out the attic space. We've got the ditch in between the house and the cabin and the utility pole. Got to get that knocked out. So we've got several things that we need to do. So hopefully. Oh, we got a little bit of insulation left. Whew, yuck. We're probably going to try to knock that out as well. So we got several things we need to do today. All of it slowed by our little adventure last night, but we're gonna prevail. We will overcome. We're going to choose to have a good weekend. So that's a lot to do this weekend. We got several very important tasks to knock out. So hey, let's do this. right, so I got the trailer back and all in one piece. And so we're going to disconnect it and set it up right here. Whew. And then tomorrow I'll hopefully get it back up to Robbie in one piece with both tires on. Whew. Took a couple hours out of the morning, but it was no big deal. I mean, we fortunately it was still sitting on the side of the interstate. It's all good. It's all good. All right, so as Kevin continues to work on straightening up the rat's nest that we have inside in the breaker box, Karen and we're going to begin putting up some of the board and batten pieces. And the reason we need to do that now is that we need to put up the meter base. And the meter base has to go on the outside of the house on the exterior so that we can get electricity run to the house. So we're going to put up the first few pieces. We're going to put the meter base on after we get this done, and you'll see Kevin doing that after we get done with this. And then he will also be able then to run the wires from the breaker box out to the meter base. And so that's how we will get electricity inside the cabin. So here we are at the end of the trench up against the utility pole, and man, this was tough. The ground began to, it was so soft that the trencher began to collapse each of the sides of the trench. So I had to pull the trencher out, and Kevin and I ended up having to do some hand digging on this end. But as you can see, we get it laid in and it looks really nice. We are at the legal depth as far as 4 foot down. But as you can see, it's turned out really, really nice. All right, so the very last task that we've got to do before we call it an evening is Kevin and I are going to crawling up underneath the cabin here. We are going to dig out the remainder of the ditch where the trencher cannot reach. Unfortunately, it's about an 8 foot stretch, 4 foot deep. Takes us a couple of hours. It goes deep into the night. And so much so that my camera runs out of juice. So not a ton of pictures on that, but fortunately we get it done. We were gassed. All right, so yesterday, Kevin and I was racing the sun to get the pipe in the ground. And every time we would get to where we thought we had it, man, we had to knock off another corner. We had to chip off another area so that the pipe would lay in the trench correctly. And it ended up that we hand dug a lot of this. But as you can tell, we've got we've got the pipe in the trench with our galvanized elbows on this end, and the other one is way down there. You can see it button up against the pole. So it's in. Huge win. Big accomplishment. That was major. Now what that enables us to do now is to actually get electricity to the cabin. And there's one other piece to do. We got to come up out of the ground up into the meter base box here, and have one piece that does that, and then we should be good. Whew. I tell you what, that was brutal. That was brutal. So what we're going to do today is, yesterday took its toll on us pretty good. It was, I think it may have gotten to 96, 97 yesterday with a very high humidity. And so the new term the weather guys like to throw out is the feels like temperature was over 100. Yeah, it was toasty. But I think today what we're going to do is clean up. I'm gonna run this ditch for the water on out, and water and electricity actually. I'm gonna run that ditch on out and around to where we're gonna have the barn. So Karen and I have to walk over and decide where we want to put the barn. And then I think that may be all we do today. How are you feeling? Yesterday definitely got us. It got us. I was telling Karen last night, my feet kept cramping, like alternating all night long. I just didn't get enough electrolytes back in me. Didn't get enough electrolytes. So Karen did a lot of bush hogging yesterday. Too much bush hogging, to be honest. I mean, the heat got to her as well. She just does awesome. She got out there and knocked it out. But between the bush hogging and getting the electrical line dropped in, man, I'm super stoked about the progress we've made this weekend. We didn't get to everything I wanted to get to. I wanted to get the attic door. I really wanted to get the pocket hole door. But there's also, there's a time to work, there's a time to play, and there's a time to rest. And I think Karen and I, we need a day of rest. So I'm gonna finish up cutting this ditch. Well, we'll call it a half day. We'll do a half day work, half day rest. I'm gonna finish cutting this ditch because I lose the ditch witch tomorrow. The ditch witch guy comes back to pick up his equipment tomorrow. So I gotta use it while I got it. And so I'm gonna do that ditch. All right, we got that ditch dug, and that was nice. The only deal was I couldn't remember exactly where the end of the water pipe was. So I had dug half, the ditch out a little bit out away from the cabin, and I couldn't remember how far it went. I found it. I caught about the last 6 foot of it, and so I'll have to lop that off, put the next piece on. Shouldn't be no big deal. Yeah, water's not on right now, so no worries. But yeah, that went really nicely. That's probably another, I don't know, that's 70 feet, 80 feet maybe. But But yeah, I'll get in here because greasing these pipes up and laying them in, that's no biggie. I may do that next time out amongst the other 50 activities we need to get done in the cabin. But anyway, all right, I think we're done this weekend, are we not? Hey, you guys have a wonderful week. Have a blessed week, and until we see you the next time, we will see you.